All right, guys, you're welcome to the Talking Point Show on Elegbete TV and Elegbete TV Radio. Olaleye Idowu. The name is Elegbete TV or Elegbete TV Radio. Please, not be Elegbere. Please, don't come and spoil our brand for us. And we are not Elegbere. All right, thank you. Well, my name is Idafe Matthew Esogene. You love to call me the Elegbete One of Sports. Let's just go straight to all the things. First off, congratulations to Jude Odiegalo for making it the first Nigeria to ever play for Manchester United. If my record says me right, Mikel Lubi signed for Manchester United but never get to play for them, never even get to train with them. And then, so many other stories have come here and there, but it's not happened. Thank God for Jude Odiegalo. He almost scored. I was just holding myself for that goal. If it had happened, the shot not be your. But there's so many things that happen with the Manchester United game, and so many things that are happening around sports. Somebody sent me a message on my DM on Twitter and said that if an African country was the one that was going to host the 2020 Tokyo Olympics and the coronavirus broke out in an African country that is nearby that African country, would the IOC allow the Olympics to go on? He said I shouldn't mention his name, so let me keep it that way. The truth of the matter is, on my own part, I think it's not as easy as people think. One, if you take away the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, where are you going to take it to? There are not other countries that are ready to host an Olympic. An Olympic event is not like a football event. It's not a single sport event. The logistics to host an Olympic is crazy. In the modern day, since the First World War, the Olympic have been postponed 3 times. You don't want a 4th one. I think we can still go on with it. Another thing is, if you postpone it, you would have shown to China that, okay, we are leaving them alone. It's a fight that everybody is fighting. The coronavirus is not something that they just woke up and say, oh, we want to reduce our population, let's create a virus that will kill everybody. Yeah, there could be one mistake here and there. There could be some people who did some stupid thing that that caused this virus to come out. But it should be all hands on deck. I remember when Ebola was in Nigeria, we fought it. Yes, I live in Lagos and it all happened in Lagos, so I understand. We fought it, but we were praying for everybody to support us. We were praying for solidarity. We were praying for the whole global village to come to our aid. So I think it's the same thing we should do for China. Give them support, give them the benefit of the doubt. And then Japan, Tokyo, can also host a very good Olympic. Having said that, let's hit the ground running. Let's hear from our first caller, Olaleye Idowu, who describe us as Elegbete TV.
Hello, Elegbete TV Radio. My name is Olaleye Idowu, calling from Ayotoro, Ogun State. I must say it's been a wonderful one watching Odiegalo become the first ever Nigerian player to actually, make his debut for Manchester United against Chelsea, in which United won by 2-0. But of course, my question is, Odiegalo never played the under-17 aside from the under-20 before eventually, getting a Super Eagles call-up later when Amokachi was, the coach of Nigeria. So for me, I think it is more like a big slap of Nigerian football that a player that never played for under-17s is actually playing for a big club like Manchester United. And I begin to wonder, where did we get it wrong? Because if Odiegalo was, made his first impact in any level of national team at under-20s, based on his own performance and consistency over the years, now he's playing in a club, like in Manchester United. Then where did he get it wrong for him not to have actually, started from the career competition to actually, come up the ranks? Unlike what Osimhen is doing right now, playing at under-17s, had issues at Wolfsburg, not really playing so well, had a career resurgence with Charleroi before eventually coming to France and is banging in the goal. So for me, where have we got it wrong in our under-17s? Because right now, Odiegalo is a legend. The fact that he is the first ever Nigerian to play for Manchester United. I'm really happy. I watched him, and of course, it's something to really paint ourselves that we must get it right, especially when it comes to our grassroots football, and of course, seeing that our players actually progress from that true grass to grace. Well done, Elegbete TV Radio. My name is Olaleye Idowu yet again.
Olaleye Idowu, let's go straight. There is nothing wrong with our under-17 system. The fact that Giorgio Di Gallo made it to Manchester United. That does not change anything. Mikel Obi played at the under 17, played, I think, at the under 20, if I'm not mistaken. Did he make the under 20? Yeah, played at the under 20, and eventually, played at the under 20 in 2005. He played at the under 17 in 2003 and made it to play for Chelsea. I won the Champions League and all that. Anyhow you want to look at it, he won the Premier League. Anything that Manchester United was, Chelsea have become also at that time and became successful. Celestine Babayaro played 9 years. People forget that. Celestine Babayaro played 9 years for Chelsea. Played at the under 17 as well. Japan 93 won the Olympic gold medal 3 years after winning the under 17 gold medal in Japan, in Atlanta. He also played at Chelsea. So Manchester United is not the criteria to validate whether our under 17 structure is right or wrong. You don't need to play for Manchester United to prove anything. Whatever Osimhen is doing right now, a great player that I respect, that I think is going to be the next Nigerian player to win the African Footballer of the Year, has got nothing to do with our under 17 system. We are the most successful country at under 17 level. We may not have repeated it at under 20 and the senior national team level, but it's got nothing to do with the club that they play for. You can play for all of these great teams and still not make it to those big sides. You can also play for under 17, play for under 20, play for the Olympic team, play for the senior national team, and still not make it big. Oh, Mbappe, I can't recall him playing under 17 anyway, but if he did, how well did he do? So all of those whole calculation that you brought up does not count as far as I'm concerned. Let's go to Toni Kroos of Manchester, Real Madrid, for instance. Yes, he played at the under 17 with Chrysanthus Macaulay. He's playing for Real Madrid now. But please show me the rest of his teammates at that under 17 as well that have also done excellently well. So sometimes we do this. Football is a career that depends on individual choices. The choices you make as you go, not just the footballing career. There are a lot of choices off the field. Let's use Giorgio Di Gallo that we love to talk about, and it's becoming a talking point because he signed for Manchester United. When he signed for Watford, we were not having this conversation. When he left England and went to China, we were saying he's finished. In 2018, just 2 years ago, when at the World Cup, he didn't score that goal against Argentina, we all said he was overage. A lot of people, I know how many people were attacking me because the fact is my friend. So if they can't get to him, his social media was blocked at the time. He can't get to him. The ones who got his wife were insulting his wife. Some people were insulting me. I cannot analyze it now because he's my friend. I remember all those talk. I still have some of them saved. So let's not pretend now that because we saw him play for Manchester United, and all of a sudden he is not the fulcrum, is not the symbol of what a footballer should be. Yes, Giorgio Di Gallo is the identity or what a footballer should be because he's a perfect gentleman off the field, and on the field he's a consummate professional. He's lived a life that you would envy. He's the kind of guy that you really want to emulate. But to live that kind of life takes a lot of discipline. To grow up in Ajigule and not get involved with alcohol, smoking, drinking. I'm not saying everybody from Ajigula is like that, but the vices are just there right in front of you. To survive all of that and go through the life that is gone through means a whole lot. But I think that it was surrendered by very good people. And it's got nothing to do with our under 17 or under 20 or structure, but it's just that it was surrendered by good people. But then you also have a good ear. Because I remember when I came into Giorgio Di Gallo's space and we started talking. He always will respond to you when you chat with him compared to other people. Giorgio Di Gallo, there are very few players that are like that. Giorgio Di Gallo, what's it called? John Ogu, fantastic guy. A few of them anyway. But then you also get to know footballers before you can decide whether they are good. Because the guy who is arrogant to you is also very humble to somebody else. It's also very nice to someone else. But Odion's success has nothing to do with structure. Let's not use Odion and say, oh, if anybody doesn't play for Manchester United, then his career is not good. I don't even see the semblance or anything that, connotes that. Let's be happy for Jude Odion and move on with how things are going. But let's not use that to measure our country. Now let's go to the next caller.
Hello, Elegbete TV Radio. Henry Johnson calling. Well done, boss. Man, great atmosphere at the bridge. But that atmosphere, I see great reach English FA and their referee and their things just spoil everything. That no mean say man you no try, man you try. Lampard, the first place of his, and I killed the game. But bros, what do you reason? Say you could go through or your mind. Maybe you go the play am for your mind. That's like say I don't score that goal now. That's why I don't do this one. But I know say now one of those things, sha. Because in the 5 minutes that he played, good touches, good signs. But I just want to know what you feel. Say if you go through such striker mind, where such things happen after all the wait, after everything. And again, Maguire incidents with Batshuayi in the first half. Not be that same thing wey happen between Rudiger and Son, but the way they take a red card. Why VR no view that? Why they just dismiss as a no violence conduct? Bros, I need your take. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Henry Johnson. I don't think Lampard killed the game. That's one. Lampard selected the best players he could have picked under the circumstance. Tammy Abraham, who's his constant goal scorer, is out injured, not fit for the game. He picked between Batshuayi and Giroud. He picked the option that he felt good enough. What was happening to Batshuayi in that game was match rustiness. Chelsea would have scored up to 3 or 4 goals long before Man U scored their first goal. Then moving on from that, there was some referee decision that also did not go in favor, referee and VAR decision that didn't go in favor of Chelsea, that spoiled the game. If, for instance, Harry Maguire had been given a red card for dangerous play, whether any excuse anybody gave, if they can give Son red card for what he did against Rudiger, then Maguire deserves a red card, because now VAR and I talk say that's in a red card. So Maguire deserves a straight red card because his play was even a lot more dangerous than what Son did against Rudiger. VAR is not consistent. It's not about Manchester United, Liverpool, or anybody. VAR is just not consistent. They pick and choose who they want to punish. So they play the alpha and omega role from that their technical room that they are sitting somewhere, wherever they are. So for me, when you have a Manchester-based referee in the VAR room, a Manchester-based referee in the center, I don't say anything that it has to do with Manchester, but that is suspicious for me. It's like Nigeria wants to play against Morocco, and then you put a Ghanaian referee. It doesn't make sense. If the decisions don't go right, you will say, oh, because a West African referee is there. You expect them to be professionals, but they're humans. Plain and simple. Coming to Odio Igalo, Odio is a striker. You don't expect a player who's not trained with the team, who's been on his own, come in to play 5 minutes and you don't expect him to perform wonders. Yes, he had a chance through on goal, a lucky chance, because Fred was struggling with that ball back and front, and then he put him through on goal. It was very close. The goalkeeper had already come out to close, and the angle was narrowed. It was just play for luck. Yes, only players like Messi would have the composure and the calm to dink that ball down. It doesn't also mean that Messi doesn't miss. He misses a lot of clear-cut chances. That wouldn't be a miss by my book, but rather it's a save by the goalkeeper. Having said that, Jude Igalo's had a career that has spanned about 20 years now, if I'm not mistaken. Do you think that Jude Igalo has not missed chances that are clearer than that, clearing that chances that are better than that? Nothing is going through his mind. This is his boyhood club. He's living his dream right now. He's had a 5 minutes chance. In 5 minutes, all his touches were perfect. His hold-up play was awesome. His positioning was great. His movement was quick. He was alert. I thought it was going to be slower. I thought it was going to be clumsy, but it wasn't. He just didn't get that chance. Fine. He will get past it. As a professional football player, he will get past it and move on. Yes, he would. Oh, I wish I'd score my debut and all that and dedicate the goal to my late sister and to God as he normally does. But I tell you, I just gave me reason to believe that giving more minutes, giving more time, he will score plenty of goals for Manchester United. That's just it. And he's also made Martial wake up. Martial, knowing that there is an Odio on the bench, also made him play a lot more better than we've seen him play in previous time. But I don't think that Odio will be having headache, thinking, I didn't score that goal. I don't think so. Well, thank you very much for that, Henry Johnson. Let's move to the next caller.
Hello, Elegbete TV Radio. The best content I ever met. God will continue to bless Elegbete TV Radio. My name is Matthias Jacob. Ikorodu is the location. Lagos State, Nigeria, from the West African part of this world. First of all, I want to appreciate you for your analysis so far. I've been blessed. I watched Chelsea-Manchester United game today, and where I watched the game, many people are complaining, especially the Chelsea fans, bitterness that they are being robbed of the game, knowing fully that the VAR, when the VAR come to play, when you score a goal, you have to wait for 1 minute or 30 seconds before you can celebrate. My question is this: do you think the game is controversial or the referee killed the game? That's why Man United win the game. Because for me, this game make it the third straight strategies that OGS used to beat Chelsea. In the opening of our league, we beat Chelsea 3-0 with a different formation. The Carabao Cup with another formation. Today with another formation, which the Chelsea could not even handle it. That is one. Two, after reading a lot of comments about what you have done, can you tell us what motivates you to do this, that many of us are benefiting from it? Because knowing fully where you are working before, you are a regem there. But don't you think that you being, let me use this word, ship out from that organization now give you a good platform to operate? Or is it something that you have been planning for, that something like this will happen before those things happen where you are working your previous employer? God bless you, Elegbete TV.
Matthias, I like your intro, Sha. Let's go with the strategy by OGS is fantastic. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came up with a different strategy. Fine. I don't like to do what if in life. What if Tammy Abraham was there, but he was there when Manchester United beat them before, so no big deal. So let's come to the crunch of the game. I think that Chelsea wasted a lot of chance. There was a time where they were controlling the tide of the game. They didn't take their chances. And then, boom, I don't know where that cross came in by Wan-Bissaka, and Anthony Martial rose above everybody and directed the ball into the net. Caballero, the Argentine, couldn't go close to it. 1-0. Fair play, everything was fine. Then, what's it called? Kotzuma scored that goal that was disallowed. There is some gray area around that disallowed goal, because if he wasn't nudged, he wouldn't have pushed the player. That's my take. And all this talk about, oh, if they push you, if you're falling, you should put your hand together. I've not seen that happen before. I play football. I've not seen that happen. The body moves. These are athletes. The athleticism of the body reacts to motion. So all of those excuses don't count. There was a nudge that led to the pushing and all that. So that goal should have stood. Now let's get past that goal. Let's go to Harry Maguire scoring. If they had given Harry Maguire a red card for a clear, dangerous play, because that is like the transformer area of Bashwai. I mean, Igbola side, now he kick. So if that's clear dangerous play, if he had been given a red card, Man United would be one man down, and then Maguire would not come to head the second goal in on the back post. And with the kind of movement of Chelsea, one man down, the guy who really controls the defense for Manchester United, I think Chelsea would have scored equalizer or probably get in a second goal. But that didn't happen. Then the goal by Olivier Giroud, half a foot offside. Well, you will watch other games and you will see that goal in, and VAR will not react. My problem in that game was that the speed with which VAR reacts to things that concern Chelsea, when it comes to Manchester United, VAR seems to be very slow. So let's go back to the Harry Maguire's stud on Batshuayi again. There was a fourth official just right there, next there to the action. There is a linesman on that line. And then there is the center referee that is not far from the action. And then there is the cameras of VAR. But they didn't even react, as in replay it, put it on the loop. like they did the Olivier Giroud one, or the goal that they cancelled for Kotzuma. So if you look at that, you see that for me there was an agenda. It's not a Manchester agenda, but VAR and the referee already have their own agenda to determine what they want to determine. Maybe keep Manchester United closer to the chasing park. Make sure that it is not Sheffield United that is closer to Chelsea in case they fall. You see, all these things are business. People will protect their business with whatever they want to protect. You might not believe me. I might not be right, but the truth is, if you give the English FA or the Premier League an opportunity to determine who goes to Europe between Sheffield United and Manchester United, do you think they will pick Sheffield United to go and represent England next season, or knowing fully well that Man City will not play in the Champions League? I mean, the team that would have a better chance is definitely Manchester United, because they'll bring in more money, they'll bring in more crowd, they'll bring in more fans. England would have a brighter chance with them. They will spend more money to sign more players, improve their squad and all that. So all of this is the politics of the game. But I've always said this a long time ago. When white man, they do Ojoro, black man, go they also the defender, they say, you know what I mean? But if that happened with Enyimba, if that was an Enyimba game, the story will be different. Let's leave that. It's a topic for another day. Now let's go to the other question you asked. What inspired me to do this? Okay, my inspiration to do TV has always been there from my time when I did, thanks to Shino Okeleji, who got me to do that documentary for Al Jazeera, and then thanks to Temisa Nokomi, as if I knew that this question was going to come up. I'm wearing this shirt. This is a shirt this is the oldest shirt in my wardrobe, actually, that I got when I was working with HITV, if you remember that. So from that time, I've always said to myself that one day I was going to do TV. My original plan for TV was a reality show. Like I was going to do a reality show of me and my family, me and my children and all that. So that was the dream. But then I got fired from Brilla FM because I did my first episode of Sports as the Odds, if you follow me. And then the management didn't like it. It wasn't on my contract that I can't do that. It was a YouTube team. It says I did it with another station. It was just for fun, and I got fired for it. And the very minute I got fired, I told myself two things. When I left Brilla, 3 weeks after I left Brilla, I had like 27 different offer, radio, TV, even Super Sports, radio, TV, different places. Some in Lagos, some outside Lagos, some outside Nigeria. I mean, 2 stations in Ghana. Now, I said to myself, one thing I know is, because I did not do any wrong working in Brilla, and with the kind of commitment and loyalty that I gave to Brilla, and I still got fired, I know the person that I am. I know that I cannot give another person that kind of loyalty. So it will be cheating to go work for somebody that I'm not loyal to and be earning their money and taking their money and just be going through the motion. So I said to myself, you know what? Go and do something that you will love. This is something that I love. It is my own project. It's also given me an opportunity to give other people a chance to grow. And I think that it has been fulfilling. It has been exciting. It also gave me a good chance to be a father to my children and a great husband to my wife. Having said that, anyway, it's cost me a lot of money. It cost me a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of sleepless nights, but I'm enjoying it. I love what I'm doing. Was it the sack that led to it? No, it has already started before I got sacked, so it wasn't a sack. I went to the World Cup in 2014, and I saw how production was done, and I started thinking first that in Nigeria today, almost every media is so focused on European football that they don't do anything about grassroots. That if I have my chance, if I do anything on my own, I was going to focus on grassroots, and that's exactly what Elevated TV is about. We're all talking about European football, yes, but the core of our work is on grassroots. That's why if you listen to Elevated TV Radio, there is grassroots reports coming from every state of the federation, and we're still adding more. If you watch Elevated TV, you see what we do with the Lagos State FA Cup. Now we're also going to do the same thing with the Surulere League and the Bayern Youth Cup and the Juventus Academy. That's who we are. So it's something that started long before I got sacked. The idea has been there. My YouTube channel, actually, people don't know, but my YouTube channel actually started on the 16th of July. My son was born in April, and I started saying that I want to document my son's growth. 2012, as he goes through these pages, I want to be documenting his growth, putting videos and all that online, so that when he's older, he can see them. That's when my YouTube channel started. But then in 2017, I got fired, and I didn't think I was motivated enough to work for any person. So I said, turn the energy and work for yourself. That is the reason. I hope you understand, and I'm glad that you enjoy it, and I'm glad that you and a lot of people like it. Let's go to another person. Time is really fast.
Elegbete Radio TV. My name is Samuel. Please throw more light on Chelsea first goal. I'm calling from Ikoyi.
All right, Samuel from Ikoyi, that goal by Kozuma, I've said a whole lot in the course of the show about it, and I'm still going to say it again. Life is cause and effect. Something happened to the Chelsea player that led to him pushing the Manchester United player that went down, Morrison or whatever his name is, Williamson also. I think that because it is VAR, if it is a referee that shot the goal off straight off, I would say, okay, he didn't have the benefit of hindsight. But for a VAR that have the benefit of hindsight to watch the proceeding, and see that the Chelsea player that was actually, the Manchester United player that was actually impelled, that was pushed down, was not in flight to make contact with that ball. I think on that strength, the goal should have stood. The goal should have stood. There is no reason to shock it off. But I think VAR came into that game with an agenda. Not an agenda against Chelsea, but an agenda against Sheffield United. And nobody's looking at it from that angle. This is my opinion. I've said it before because of this show, and I'm going to say it again. From the brand of Manchester City, obviously, if the season ends like this, the team that comes fifth will make the Champions League. For England, England will still have their first slot. So the team that comes fifth will make the Champions League. It will be better for Manchester United to make fifth and make the Champions League than Sheffield United to make fifth and make the Champions League. So I think that was the agenda from the get-go. Because if you follow the game for 90 minutes, you'll notice that the way VAR react to things that affect Chelsea negatively, they don't react like that when it affects Manchester United negatively. They were pulled apart. They were miles apart. So with all of that in play, I think it was an agenda set up to favor Manchester United, not because Manchester United was involved, but because that's what the English FA and the Premier League want. Let's not forget that this is a business. It's just like me, this what I'm doing here, to you is fun, but for me it's business. If this content stop getting the number and the traction that I need, and I ask myself, am I wasting my time? Am I wasting space? I will stop it. Some people might not like it. Some people might be angry. Oh, you take off our show. They will insult me. But for the sake of the business, I will do what is good for my business. So there are eggs behind the scene who control, determine, mediate and legislate about what happens in the Premier League. They've seen Everton. They've seen Leicester go represent the EPL in Europe and messed up. They're not going to have a Sheffield United go play in the Champions League. It's a cabal. It's just that when they do their thing, they make it so smooth and so clean that you hardly know. It's only once in a while where you have like the Cassiopoly or this Man City that is being banned now, and that you have all that. It's just for noise, for controversy. Like removing Sepp Blatter from FIFA and bringing in Infantino and deceiving everybody that corruption has been removed from FIFA. Hello, why is Sepp Blatter not in jail? Why is Platini not in jail if they have all those corruption that everybody said? So it's a long thing. Football has been like that since forever. I play the game and I've seen that from the inside. It will continuously be like that. It gives us in the media something to talk about. It gives the fans something to go crazy about. But it is what it is. I think that the agenda was straight. Put Manchester United's best foot forward. Put Manchester United in the best position to have a shot of representing England in the Champions League, because that brings a lot more money, that brings a lot of more numbers, tourism, that's a whole lot. It's a business. It's not just a business for football, it's a business for the GDP of a country. So you do it and do it calculating all of the odds and putting all of the dots in place ahead of time, and then you go back to the beginning after you set things up, and then you start manipulating straight up. That is the way I see it. So there is more to it than meet the eyes. But a lot of people will not agree. I mean, hey, what does this guy know? It's a crazy analyst, especially these days where all analysts are seen as dumb people who just like to talk. I'm one of the analysts, so people will see me like that. But if you pause, remove your sentiment and your attachment to any of these clubs and look at it from a business place, unbundle it and begin to break it into tiny pieces and particles, you would understand what I am saying. Take it that if I might be dumb, I might not know anything, but I know a lot about football. I've been inside football long enough to be able to say some things with certain level of authority. So that's the way I see it. You might not like it, but hey, I've said my piece. If you have an opinion, you can join the conversation either by coming into the WhatsApp group that we've set up so that you can have your voice on the show. Just follow at Elegbete TV Radio on Twitter. You will see the link. It's on our pinned tweet. Just click it and you're automatically in the WhatsApp group. Then you can join this conversation. Or you can join the conversation on Twitter using the hashtag The Talking Point Show. Now, having said that, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel on YouTube, Elegbete TV. You can also listen to our radio on www.elegbetetv.com/radio, and you are part of the show. Thank you very much for everyone who's contributed. Thank you very much for everyone who's listened, who's watched, who's observed. Everything that every radio played, I appreciate it. We all love you. And thanks to my producer. The studio is very hot. I'm sweating, as you can see. Thanks to my producer, McDonald Chukwuemeka Okporocha. God bless you for always making it possible for us to run. Let's go. I got to run now. My name is Idafi Matthew Esiogene. I love you all, and you love to call me the Elegbete one of us. Bye.